Good afternoon and welcome to the Care Behind the Smile, supporting special needs through everyday challenges. This session is for you, dental professionals who work with children with special needs and see firsthand the daily challenges their caregivers face. Today, we'll explore those challenges and discuss innovative ways to support families, including how Willo's AutoFlo toothbrush can make at-home oral care so much easier and more effective. We're joined by Dr. Joel Berg, who I'm sure most of you know, Chief Dental Officer at Willo, and a respected leader in pediatric dentistry with over 35 years of experience. He'll be speaking with Lisa Copeland, a registered dental hygienist and CSP, a global speaker and communications expert who's passionate about helping dental teams deliver care that truly connects with their patients and families. Also here today is Katja Kletter, brand director at Willo, who leads our work with dental professionals. Katja will stay on after the presentation to answer any questions that you may have, and she's going to master program how you and your office can offer this wonderful product to your patients and their families, so you will not have to purchase any product to be able to sell it. The program is such that you don't have any financial investment in it, but yet can reap the repercussions of selling it and also offer this wonderful product for your patients. So I urge you to stay to the very end so that you can hear all about the ways your office can have this in your office as an income center, but at the same point in time, really be able to offer this to your special needs patients. So let's begin.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you for your support, and we're excited to be connecting with your audience. So with no further ado, let's play.
Hi, I'm Joel Berg, Chief Dental Officer of Willo, and I'm really happy to be here today with Lisa Copeland. Lisa is a renowned and a leading authority in dental team communication and serves as the CEO of Communicate with Influence. Not only is she a Generation X professional, but she's also an accomplished author, Ironman, coach, and an international speaker. Her diverse global experience spans from the U.S. and Europe to Southeast Asia, enabling her to bring a wealth of firsthand knowledge to her coaching. Throughout her varied career, Lisa has held multiple roles within dental teams, a fact that amplifies her coaching efficacy and allows her to relate directly to her clients' challenges and triumphs. Dedicated to promoting optimized communication strategies, she passionately guides dental teams towards achieving heightened profitability and enhanced performance. Amongst her many achievements, Lisa holds the distinguished CSP Award from the National Speakers Association, an honor bestowed upon fewer than 17% of speakers worldwide. Impressively, she stands as only one of 3 registered dental hygienists globally to have earned this esteemed accolade. Lisa, thanks so much for being with us here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I always love talking with you, Joel.
Oh, likewise. I'm glad we have this opportunity today. So today we're going to talk about what we've called the care behind the smile, supporting special needs through everyday challenges. Let's start with the reality caregivers face. Why is toothbrushing such a common point of stress in families caring for loved ones with special needs?
Well, for many, it isn't just a task, right? It's sensory and it's emotional, and it quite often comes with physical hurdles as well. And so what takes one person 2 minutes, it seems like an eternity or an overwhelming experience for another.
Okay, so what are some of the specific biggest challenges, like traditional toothbrushing? So, we're talking today about this Willo automated toothbrush, which is solving some of the problems. What are those problems that it's solving? What are the biggest traditional challenges that one would see regarding manual or power brushes even?
Yeah, traditional brushing and most power toothbrushes, they require or demand a lot of coordination. And that's just not possible for some of our special needs patients, right? You can't, they're not able to turn their hands properly and cover all the surfaces of the teeth. And so using something like Willo, which we're going to talk about, I think, a little bit in depth more, it's automated. So it takes a lot of the guesswork and the physical disability out of using the toothbrush.
So I want to ask you, since I have a dental hygienist, a quite accomplished dental hygienist at that, who communicates with other dental hygienists, you're used to telling patients all day long about their oral care. I often joke when I go to the dentist and the hygienist spends more time with me, I feel like I'm going to be shamed because I haven't flossed, or, you guys must have a course in shaming. I know it's not true. I joke about that. But the point is, it's tough to brush teeth, even for anybody, including adults, because I remember that the teeth have different shapes and curvatures, and they're all different shapes. So even if you apply the same, even if you were to position on one tooth correctly, it's not going to be the same for the next tooth. It's a different positioning.
Right.
So say something about that, if you would, please.
Well, it's got to be easy for a special needs patient to use any device, right? If they're really having to use a lot of coordination, they may not have the understanding or the ability to place the toothbrush in their mouth at the right angle and make the right motion, right? They just may not be able to do that. And so for every single special needs patient, you have to individualize the treatment, because what works for one isn't going to work for the other. And that's true even with our everyday patients. But even more specifically, we have to customize what we're recommending for them, because they have different triggers and they have different struggles.
I've known you, Lisa, for a long time, and you always have a great way of characterizing communication. And so you told me when we were talking about this, you talk a lot about brushing better. From brushing better, we tell our patients to brush better, to changing the experience. What does that mean for a caregiver, changing the experience?
It's all about creating a really calm and an empowering routine that removes the triggers, like the gag reflex and the sensory issues, and it removes the struggle. And so really it's about customizing individually for each person and finding the right device that's going to help them achieve better oral hygiene.
So the experience you're talking about is some kind of feedback that they realize they're doing it better, and it's not just because brush better sounds a little bit like shaming. You know what I mean? It sounds like you're not doing a good job.
Right.
But changing the experience has sort of a positive connotation, it reminds me of like motivational interviewing almost. You know what I mean? Where we're getting the patient to experience differently. You want them to change, so you're kind of working on them seeing it differently. Is that fair to say?
Changing their mindset, and also trying something new, right? Trying something different. And you hit the nail on the head with using something that's going to give them some feedback. So where are they in the process of brushing, and how many minutes do they have left, and when do they move the brush? And so that they have something to interact with that's going to keep them more engaged in the brushing cycle.
So let's talk a little bit more about special needs, and specifically helping neurodivergent or physically challenged individuals. How do we help them succeed with oral care? What can caregivers do? We as a preface to this, Lisa, before you respond, as a pediatric dentist myself, it's kind of ingrained in our souls that parents have to watch their kids brush. They have to watch them, have to observe them until they are 8 years old, when they can tie their own shoe. And of course, now that they all have Crocs, there's no shoes to tie anymore. So maybe they can never brush.
Crocs and
However,
Velcro.
Exactly. So, the thing I've always wondered about that mandate to parents watch the kids brush is, how does the parent know they're brushing correctly? You know what I mean? They may be watching them, but how do they know?
Well,
I don't know. That's
go ahead. Sorry.
As a rhetorical question, it's sort of.
Yeah. I think everybody needs a little guidance, but if you build a routine is going to build trust and confidence. And then when brushing happens at the same time, the same way every single day, and routine is really important for our special needs patients, it builds or becomes predictability, and predictability reduces anxiety. And so it's a step-by-step process where they have to get feedback, right? So Willo Toothbrush gives patients feedback on their app, but they also have to have some kind of routine so that they know what they're doing at the same time in the same way every single day, because that predictability is really going to help reduce their anxiety. And so start small, make really small changes and give the patients some choices so that they are feeling more independent. I love that that Willo has a timer on it, because it helps them hold themselves accountable. Okay, I'm halfway done. I need to switch the toothbrush, and now I'm going to continue, and I'm going to be done really fast.
Yeah, and I think all kids need that.
Yeah.
Kids with special needs as well. The feedback is as you know, is very important. What are some easy, practical ways that caregivers can reduce the resistance? Kids, we always think of it as kind of a struggle, resistance. The parents they don't get into actual fights, but it's sort of like, will you please brush your teeth and make sure? And it becomes this sort of like getting somebody to do something. They don't want to do it.
Right.
So, there are sensory triggers that could be altered. Tell us a little bit about that, some of your thoughts.
Well, it's all about figuring out what's going to work for that individual. But if you can relieve or reduce some of the triggers, like with special needs patients, some of the biggest triggers are gag reflex or sensory issues, or they don't like the noise or the sound specifically, or too much toothpaste, right? There's a lot of things that can really trigger them. And so if we use a device like Willo, it eliminates or removes a lot of the triggers. And so it's a much more pleasant experience for the patient. And then in turn, because you're not having that constant tug of war, it gives the care provider a little bit of a breathing time or breathing room.
Okay. So you mentioned Willo. So tell us how Willo is different from traditional toothbrushes. How does it specifically support patients with special needs based on what you've told us about patients with special needs?
Yeah, what I love about it is it doesn't rely on technique like a manual toothbrush, right? It's automated, it's sensory friendly, and it's very consistent. You're going to get the same result because of the way that it works. So the patient just has to place it in their mouth, put their lips around it, and the toothbrush does the work for them. And so there's not as much manual dexterity involved. It reduces a lot of the frustration. And what I think it does is it meets the patients where they're at, or the users where they're at, and not where they're expected to be.
So one of the benefits you mentioned that Willo's promoting this, I would call it independence.
Mm-hmm.
That, like I was saying earlier, that we say that parents have to observe. This perhaps makes them more independent. Why is that so impactful for both the child, the user, and the caregiver?
Independence is huge for special needs patients and our loved ones. It gives them a sense of value. And when somebody can take ownership of their own routine, even in just a very, very small way, it's going to build dignity and it's going to build confidence for them. And like I mentioned earlier, when that happens, you also have the caregiver gets a minute to breathe, right? It's a win-win.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have an example? Could you tell us cases or examples you know about that?
Oh, yeah. I had this patient this was many years ago, and I was working in Washington, D.C., and her grandfather was her caregiver. And he would bring her in. She was in about her 20s, but she had a mentality of about a 6-year-old. And he would bring her in, and it was just a struggle. She just hated brushing her teeth. And we would have a conversation. She was in the room, and I would have a conversation with her grandpa, and he would say, every night and every morning it ends in tears for both of us. And we'd have a little giggle about that. But he said, we've tried so many variations of manual and power toothbrushes, but she just couldn't handle the sensory aspect. She was very, very sensitive to, even when I was polishing her teeth. And I wish that I still was in touch with them, because I think Willo would be the one that she would be able to handle, because it does remove so many of those triggers, like the sensory issue that she had.
Yeah. Well, I think your words are going to influence many dental hygienists who are seeing those patients today, and will influence them exactly like you wish you could have then. So I'm certain of that. So for caregivers who are skeptical, aren't like tech oriented, overwhelmed by new ideas, what would you say to them to make them sort of confident to at least try Willo?
You're not alone. You're not alone, and you don't have to go it alone. Trying something new for all of us can feel really scary, but if it works, it's life-changing. And this is one of the true oral hygiene devices that I think is going to be life-changing for so many of our special needs patients.
Wow. I can't wait to put your words in front of all the dental hygienists in the world. We will. So if there is a takeaway, one takeaway that you hope listeners walk away with about Willo and special needs patients specifically, what would that be?
I think oral care doesn't have to be a battle. With the right tools and the right support, it can be simple and it can be empowering and it can be even joyful for not only the caregiver, but also the patient.
Well, those are words of wisdom, I think, because you've had the experience in all aspects as a communicator, as a practitioner, in so many aspects of dentistry. And you've written a book about this, about communication, Communicate with Influence. I'm not here to promote your book, but I've read it and it's excellent.
Thank you.
And you know, you talk about, we don't talk enough about communicating in the dental office. And when you think about everything you said today, it's really about communicating with that parent, that moment. And as I always say, and I think you'll agree with me, when that mom comes in with that, and it's usually the mom, you know, with the caregiver, with the child, the only thing that she cares about is her child.
Right.
And they come to us and they spend way more time with the hygienist or the assistant, depending on the case, than they do with me. So it's like an amazing opportunity to share this new ideas and technology. And I think your words today are going to inspire many to spread the right message and communicate effectively.
So I hope so. I really believe it's a game changer in the dental toothbrush industry.
Thank you, Lisa, for being with us today.
Thanks, Joel.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining and those who will be watching post this presentation. We hope this was a helpful presentation and a really valuable conversation between Dr. Berg and Lisa Copeland. I love how she was giving the example of the now adult, but the experience where every night and every morning, right, it ended in tears. And we hear that over and over again from parents with kids with special needs, parents of kids with special needs. And we're really excited to share this innovation that is truly a game changer in the oral care industry. So we hope everyone expresses interest, gets to experience it. Please contact us. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at dental@willo.com. And as Dr. Haugseth said in the beginning, we are offering a professional program or a way for dental professionals to sell Willo at their offices without actually carrying the product in their practice. It is all done digitally, and the way it happens is if you express interest, contact us. We are going to be sending you a free demonstration unit, a free Willo, so that you can share that with your patients, recommend it in the office, and we will give you also patient materials. The patient, or more so their parents, will basically scan a QR code, and if they're interested, they can purchase the Willo right there and then in the office. The parent gets a discount, and the office gets basically commission out of this sale, so you don't have to physically carry a unit. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about this program. Feel free, as I mentioned, to connect with us at dental@willo.com. Thank you for the time. Thank you, Dr. Haugseth, for the opportunity to join the PDTA team.
Katya, could you just let them know that once they get their, or when they order a demo unit, that you will be glad to do a lunch and learn with their team, with their assistants and their hygienists, so that they can actually see how it works and give them much more information because the parents, we know, will have a ton of questions. and they want to be, shy of them doing it themselves. The different things that you will be able to coach them on what to say and how to kind of help them tell the parents how they'll need to use it, and even so that they can talk to them on the phone once a parent gets a unit at home if they have questions. I know they can call you guys, but they can, but most likely they'll reach back out to us at the dental office and ask the questions there. So I know you guys are willing to give that one-on-one coaching to the office and help them. So want to talk a little bit about that?
100% correct. And that's as part of the process. And in addition to sending a unit, we are offering 1 hour, basically an introduction to Willo, so that we can communicate with the entire dental office and the hygiene staff to make sure that we address any questions. You will have the unit at that point in time, so you can literally play with it, experience it as we talk about it live. And to your point, that will help then understand it better, as well as address any questions that patients will have. So again, all of that information can be given to you once you connect with us and request an educational session. Again, as part of that, we connect with your dental office, with your entire office, to give them an overview of Willo, the benefits, address any questions you might have. And we also give you a free unit, a demonstration unit for the office, so that you can share it with your patients. And then if you're interested in selling, more patient materials are sent to you, and the patients can basically purchase without actually you having to carry the unit or the device in the office, which is really straightforward, streamlined, and easy. We keep on hearing from dental professionals, it's like we don't have space in the offices to be storing these things, and let alone to forecast, see how many do we need, what sizes, all of that. So all of that will be taken care of by us. We will be privileged, certainly, and happy if you choose to recommend us and sell us, and we will make it as seamless as we make toothbrushing.
So Katya, one of the things that they might want to absolutely try it, put in their mouth so they can describe it. Is there a way that they can buy the large mouthpieces so that multiple people in the office can try it and feel it themselves and experience what the patient's going to experience, so they can describe it to the parent and do that? Because I think that would be most helpful also. So if there's a way that they can purchase a little bit bulk, quite a few of those to try it, so that they can do it with just water, just so they get the sensation. Because as you know, I have one and I think it's just so cool. And I already have a Sonicare that I use, but I'm telling you, this thing does as good, if not better. And it's kind of a cool thing to just experience, because there's just really no describe it until you actually feel it. And one thing I do want to make sure that everybody on this webinar knows is that I have no financial interest in it. I don't even have a dental practice where I can sell it, but I definitely use it on the ones that I do work at. We're getting it. So I do want them to know that, I don't have any financial interest in this. My interest is purely because I think it's a wonderful product. And I wanted to make sure as many pediatric dentists that I know about it and are able to offer this. So that's the whole reason that I'm behind this, is just because I support anything that we can use to help our patients have a easier time at home. Because we know, I just was working again today, it's the same story. We get tired of he's saying it, all of us in the office do, not just the doctors, the hygienists, the assistants, it's everybody in the office talking to them about they've got to do better brushing and flossing. So it's just, and we're so used to new gadgets coming out. Everybody's got now the water flosser. It is just the water pick. It still doesn't remove plaque, and we know that, but they think this is going to take the place of is the next greatest thing. So there's going to be some skepticism from the colleagues, and certainly from the parents, because they already try new things, and we're saying it didn't work too good. So it's
No,
not,
and it's
it doesn't do what it says it's going to do, but this does. And I wanted to make sure people knew it and have that experience. Let them try it themselves and let them see how it is.
yeah, absolutely. And we're so grateful for your support. You have been amazing in terms of certainly spreading the word. And to your point, you have no financial interest. It's more about, hey, you had a great experience, you believe in the product, and you're helping us spread the word. And we're immensely grateful for that. And it's really true what you're saying, especially when it comes to U-shaped toothbrushes. There is a general impression out there in terms of how they work, how well they work. And I just want to point out that this brush works quite differently. Yes, the shape of it is a U shape, but unlike anything else out there, it's truly simulating the optimal mechanical brushing, which does not happen with any other toothbrush out there. And it does it in a very unique way because of the, I'm going to do a little demo live here, because of the cheek retractor. So this is the lip rest, we call it a lip rest. And basically the lips rest here and act as retractor, separates the lips and the cheeks from the teeth. So then the mouthpiece can actually move. So that quite, long story short, quite different from what is out there, even when it comes to U-shaped brushes. So we'll be very happy to demonstrate that and explain that. And to your question in terms of brush heads, yes. So as part of the initial order or initial send that we're going to be sharing with dental professionals, they would receive 3 sizes, one small, one medium, and one large. But upon further request and interest in the program, yes, there's an opportunity to purchase in bulk to not only experience it further with more people in the office, but also share that with patients so that they ultimately can purchase it as well. So all of those options are available, and we can give more details on that whenever somebody reaches out to us.
Excellent. Thank you so much for doing this. I think it's one of the best ways to get that information out is just to do something very short. And I urge everybody to really look into this because I think it's going to be life-changing for those patients. And I really think even your techie parents that are in there, not to mention the doctors themselves that are tech people, you're going to love this thing. So thank you, Katya.
Thank you, Dr. Haugseth, and we'll speak soon.